This is Ryan Elliott for Boxing Social in association with Betfred down here at York Hall. This is a bit of a strange one for me, but I've been joined by my boss, Rob Tebbutt. Rob, been a good night of action, obviously live on Boxing Social as well. Something a bit different for you, calling it all on comms. Been a good night.
Yeah, it's been a good night. Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted there. Harvey Horn has just made his way past. He looks absolutely devastated. And obviously, unfortunately, came unstuck in the main event against Majiha, which I don't think anybody was expecting it to end the way it did. But I think anybody who had watched Majiha box in the past, we saw him give a really good account of himself against Andrew Selby, Paul Butler. You know, he had to be on his P's and Q's tonight, Harvey. And I felt like he really boxed well for sort of 2.5 rounds. And then Majiha, it was a strange one. Myself and Andy Clark, shout out Andy Clark, who nursed me on comms, kind of said at the end of the third round, Majiha just was able to get glove on body a little bit, punch to the arms, the shoulders, and that just gave him a little bit of confidence. He'd been hitting fresh air, really, for certainly the second round. He had a little bit of success in the first round, but yeah, I mean, once he got that little bit of wind in his sails, he was brilliant. That fourth round, he came out, he hit Harvey, I think, with a left hook, and then he hit him with a left hook to the body that dropped him, and I don't think Harvey ever really recovered. He tucked up, he rolled with some of the shots on the ropes, he was taking a lot of shots high on the head, and it was a good stoppage from the referee. It was literally, a couple of yards away from myself and Andy. Harvey was done. As I say, I don't think he recovered from the body shot, and look, it's not the end. He's 26 years of age, so he can obviously come again, but it's still a damaging defeat and a massive upset.
Bit of heavyweight talk. Hosea Stewart, I know you've just spoken to him off camera there. I spoke to him on and off camera. Really harsh on himself tonight. He said he wasn't happy at all. Been a bit too hard on himself for his debut?
I thought so, but I didn't mind seeing it because I don't think he boxed particularly well at all. So, the fact that he's come out afterwards and in the interview that I did with him ringside and obviously speaking to him off camera and you've spoken to him, it's a breath of fresh air to see that. I don't want him coming out, we don't want to see somebody who's boxed 4 rounds against an opponent who he's supposed to go in, really, let's be honest, he's supposed to go in and win by stoppage, didn't stop him and then come out and talk about this, that and the other. So, look, he's young, Hosea Stewart, Matty Harris, they're young, particularly for heavyweights. They don't have the Joe Joyce, the Anthony Joshua amateur background, so look, he's going to be looking to get out straight away with Wasserman Boxing. They're putting these shows on all the time. So, yeah, I thought he was maybe a little bit harsh on himself, but he didn't really box well. So it was good to see from him that he's objective and he's not got his head up his arse. So it was decent to see that from him.
Matty Harris spoke to him backstage. He said he was a little bit too eager at times. He did enjoy himself in there. How were you and Andy calling this fight from ringside?
Well, I wasn't, because Adebayo Akinfenwa stole my commentary position, so I'll have to tell Adebayo Akinfenwa off the next time I see him. I definitely won't, because he's fucking massive. But no, I thought he boxed okay. Look, Mladen Manev, I watched Sol Dakers' debut. It was obviously somebody that Matty Harris knows well as well, both Midlands lads. And look, Manev is what he is. He boxed at a decent level as an amateur, obviously slightly lighter as an amateur, and he's now slightly older, which I can sympathise with. But, he's tough, he's durable, he knows how to look after himself. Matty Harris would, of course, have wanted the stoppage, being a heavyweight. I mean, everyone would have wanted a stoppage. But still, a decent enough performance and good 4 rounds under his belt after being out for a long time. So, yeah, I thought Matty Harris, certainly of the 2 heavyweights, had the better performance. But look, it's early days for both.
Ricky Hatton trained Chloe Watson, made a professional debut as well. Quite happy with a night's work. Looks to be what will be another good addition to the female side of the game.
Yeah, I thought she was the most impressive performance of the night. I thought the first round, you could see, and that's why York Hall's fucking brilliant. The York Hall is the spit and sawdust of British boxing, and when you see people walk through there and you think about the fighters who have come through there and boxed at York Hall, she was lapping it up. She was loving it. She looked nice and relaxed. I think the first round she was a bit excitable, but that's understandable. Again, a debutant who hasn't boxed in a long time. But then I felt like she started to settle down a little. And look, women's boxing, we all know, is doing very well, but it's also not got the depth or that other divisions have, certainly in the men's department. So, that opponent wasn't a bad opponent for her first outing, and it's just really how quickly they want to move her. Obviously, they've got Ricky Hatton training her, the guys at Wasserman Boxing know their stuff, so how quickly they push her, because, at that weight in particular in female boxing, you can really fly through. But no, I thought she was very, very good. I thought she was my performer of the night.
You mentioned it, York Hall's brilliant for these sort of nights. It was called the Development Series. We certainly saw a lot of that tonight. How perfect is this venue and this kind of a card for the fighters in the early stages of their careers? Perfect place, perfect timing, really.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You hear some fighters who have never boxed at York Hall. It's big names, and they'll talk about, I never boxed at York Hall. I only boxed there as an amateur, or what have you. Or you'll see fighters who have sold out arenas and headline pay-per-view bills who, they never got a chance to box at York Hall. Or they'll still say, that was my favourite night at York Hall when I was 6-0 and I brought 300 people down and stuff like that. So, look, I haven't been to York Hall. I can't remember the last time I was here, but it's been certainly 2 years, 2.5 years since I've been down, and I've really missed it. And like having live fans here is just like, you can't beat it. I think we all kidded ourselves in the pandemic when we were sat in Eddie's garden or behind closed doors and we're like, oh yeah, well it's okay and blah blah. Look, man, boxing needs fans, and this is the place for it. It's a cauldron atmosphere, whether there's 100 people in here, 500, 1,500, whatever. You'll always get a good atmosphere at York Hall. Get to go for a bagel, which is 24 hours a day, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, really good night of action here at York Hall. I was really happy with it, whether or not that's because we were broadcasting it or not, and I was just happy about that, but I was happy about everything, Ryan.
Rob, clearly enjoyed yourself on comms tonight with Andy Clark up front there, kind of steering the ship for you a bit at times, but look, away from that, it was a bit of a boxing Twitter feeling here tonight. I saw Del G with Brad Ray sat there talking about making the Nathan Heaney fight. Away from the fights, you managed to enjoy yourself and speak to a few people?
Yeah, a little bit, not much. Obviously, I commentated on every fight apart from when Akin Fenwar kicked me off. But yeah, it was always good to see Del G. I actually know Del G in sort of real life, I guess. Like, he's actually engaged to a girl I went to school with, and he's best friends, or old school friends, not best friends, because Craig didn't invite him to his wedding. He'll love that. With Craig Scott. Shout out Boxing Socials, Craig Scott. So, yeah, no, it was good to see him. Good to see Rakeem Noble. Cheers, Fred. It's good to see Rakeem Noble, obviously ex-pro turned, like, well, Twitter space entrepreneur / ringside photographer. Brad Ray was good to see him as well. So yeah, it was good, man. And like, you miss this sort of stuff. And like, Purawow's out there in fucking Vegas and New York and stuff and living it up and shit like that. So it was nice, Ryan, for us to have it. Although you went to fucking America last week, so it was nice for us to get a little bit of face-to-face time and a little bit of atmosphere. So yeah, I really enjoyed the whole evening. Yeah.
Last one, little insight for the boxing fans who haven't done a York Hall night before. What's about to happen next? How many bagels are about to be consumed?
Oh, it's 24 hours, so I think I could go in there, have at least 2, and then if they're not going to kick me out, I don't know, I reckon, although it is only a Thursday, on a Saturday night I bet it gets fucking lively in there. We're probably going to have to say there's some strong language in this so we don't get done on YouTube, and I'll get in trouble for that from myself. But anyway, yeah, no, lots of bagels, mate, lots of bagels. I haven't actually had anything to eat since about 9 o'clock this morning, which is remarkable seeing as I'm with you, and every time I'm with you we end up fucking stuffing our faces. So yeah, mate, let's go get a bagel.
I'm not going to lie, Oscar did sneak me in a bit of KFC, so I can't claim the same, but Rob, bit of a weird one, enjoyable one though. Thanks for coming on Boxing Social. Cheers.